Where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. God has hidden unlimited treasures in His Word. Every time we open it, we can discover a new treasure, or admire an old one. What will we find today? Let's dig in. Here's Carla Early with Treasure Hunt in the Word.
Beloved, don't be surprised at the fiery ordeal that has come to test you, as though something strange was happening to you. But rejoice, because you're participating in the sufferings of Christ. So when His glory is revealed, you may also be glad with exceeding joy. That was from 1 Peter 4:12. When trials come, they usually hit us out of nowhere. One minute, a problem isn't even on your radar. The next minute, it's looming up in front of you, larger than life, taking up all your time and energy. But the Bible tells us to expect trials. Not only should we not be surprised when we find ourselves in a painful, difficult, frightening, or impossible situation, but we should rejoice. After all, if we don't suffer, how can we understand, identify with, or participate in how Jesus suffered? How can we grow if we don't need to work our spiritual muscles, exercise our faith, or climb over obstacles? How can God's glory be revealed in our lives if we don't run into situations where we need Him? If we just go along in our lives with situations we can handle on our own power, how can God get glory in that? But when we come upon something that we can't handle, we can have joy, abundant joy, knowing that we're about to see God working in our lives. In fact, we can be sure He put us in that position or allowed us to be there for a very specific reason. It's always part of His plan. Just think about Joseph. God allowed him to go through so much, being hated by his brothers, sold as a slave, falsely accused, thrown into prison, forgotten. All so God could position him to be available to interpret Pharaoh's dreams, give God glory, and save the known world from starvation. I don't know how long it took for Joseph to figure this out, but by the time his brothers showed up looking to buy grain, Joseph had been able to see God's hand in all that had happened. He told his brothers, "Don't be grieved or angry at yourselves because you sold me here, for God sent me before you to preserve life." And later he told them, "You meant evil against me, but God meant it for good, in order to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives." He could see clearly that all things work together for good for those who love the Lord and are called according to His purposes. Not that we will always be able to see what God's purposes are. It might be decades before you can look back on a specific tribulation and say, I understand why God allowed that to happen. But we may never understand. Our trials may seem pointless, but we can have faith that God has used it or will use it for His glory. Jesus said He warned us specifically about trials and said in John 16:33, "These things I have told you so that you may have peace." If we know to be on the lookout for trials and that He has orchestrated them for our good and for His glory, we can have peace, can't we? He went on to say, "In the world you will have tribulation, but take heart, I have overcome the world." He has overcome. The victory is His, always will be. We're on the winning side. Nothing can come against us that He can't handle. How do you handle trials? Do they come as a surprise? Is your first reaction to complain or ask God, "Why me?" Or do you see trials as a reason to rejoice and watch God work in your life?
You can contact us at treasurehuntintheword@gmail.com. Also, if you'd like to share a treasure God has given you by doing an episode, please contact us. You can listen to other episodes on our website, which you'll find in the description below. Thanks for listening, and remember, where your treasure is, there will your heart be also.